Meanwhile, in India, it's World Cup time. The tournament has kicked off in the city of Ahmedabad. The first match is a repeat of the 2019 final, England versus New Zealand. But the focus, of course, is on Team India. They're playing a home World Cup after 12 years, and there is added pressure. Since 2011, all World Cups have been won by host countries. Australia in 2015 and England in 2019. So the expectation is India should win. But we'll keep the punditry out for now. Instead, let's focus on the business side of things. How much money does the ICC World Cup make? How much does the host earn? And what are the overall finances of cricket? Reports say India will earn $2.6 billion from this World Cup. That's around 22,000 crore rupees. This money comes from a lot of places. Let me show you the breakup. Television rights is the biggest chunk. It makes up around 12,000 crore rupees. Then comes screenings and food deliveries. A lot of people will be hosting their friends, maybe watching the match together. That is expected to generate some 5,000 crore rupees. Ticket sales is a third source. It makes up around 2,000 crore rupees. Then you have travel, merchandise and event management. Put together 22,000 crore rupees. And don't forget, it's festive season in India. So all in all, people will be spending a lot more, which is good for the economy. But I must warn you, there's a downside as well. All this spending is expected to drive up inflation. By how much? The projection is around 0.2%. I don't think that's stopping any fans out there. After all, it's a home World Cup. There will be 48 matches played across 10 venues. The final will be played in Ahmedabad on the 19th of November. And fingers crossed, India makes it. Even sponsors will be hoping for that, for India to make it to the final, because if India goes all the way, it means more viewership. And more viewership equals more traction. We are talking about a lot of money here. Sponsors are spending around $240 million. That's around 2,000 crore rupees. Advertisements are pretty expensive here. Consider a 10-second slot, a 10-second ad slot. Sponsors will have to pay 30 lakh rupees for that. 30 lakh rupees for 10 seconds, which is around 3 lakh rupees per second. It's 40% higher than the last World Cup. And who are these sponsors? Coca-Cola, Google and Hindustan Unilever are among the ad sponsors. The ICC partners include Saudi Aramco, Emirates and Nissan. So it's truly global. We have companies from the US, West Asia and East Asia taking part. It shows you how popular the game is. But this popularity is also a bit skewed. Let me explain why. Cricket is said to have more than 1 billion fans. Most of them are in one location, South Asia. You have India, Pakistan and Bangladesh put together. That's a lot of people. But outside South Asia, the fan base is much smaller. Just look at the other cricket-playing nations. England, they have a thriving football scene. Australia, their first love is rugby, just like New Zealand. And in South Africa, it's again football. So India is the nerve center of world cricket. We control the fans, the money and the politics. Take revenue, for example. The BCCI, which is the Indian Cricket Board, gets 38% of the ICC's total revenue. There is no one else in double digits. India gets 38%. Every year, Indian cricket raises $1.5 billion in sponsorship and media rights. And the cash cow is the IPL, the Indian Premier League. Do you know how much the BCCI makes from it? More than 2,400 crore rupees, which is $280 million. I know it sounds like everything is going well, but beneath all this money, there are some problems. Cricket is facing an identity crisis too. You see, this World Cup is the 50-over World Cup, aka the one-day World Cup. It's the ICC's flagship event, the most important in the cricketing calendar. But one-day cricket itself is losing relevance. India used to play 30 to 40 matches in the late 1990s and 2000s. We're talking 50-over cricket here, 30 to 40 matches. But that number has come down. India played just 20 matches in 2018 and 24 matches last year, 21 matches this year. So interest in 50-over cricket is falling. 2020 is on the rise, and you can blame time constraints for that. A one-day match takes around 9 hours to complete. Not everyone has that kind of time to spare anymore. That's one problem. The second is cricket's limited reach. We say it's a World Cup, but how many countries are taking part? Just 10. Compare that to the FIFA World Cup. 32 teams participated in Qatar, 48 will take part in the next one. So cricket needs to grow. It can't be limited to Commonwealth countries. It has to capture the world's attention, and India will have to lead that charge. Because only the BCCI has the money and the reach to do this, not to mention the biggest stars. India has them. We've seen some progress already. This year's Asian Games includes cricket. There is also talk of cricket featuring in the 2028 Olympics. That's one way to go global. India stands to gain a lot by leading this change. It could be New Delhi's new soft power play. And just a reminder before we end the story, make sure you catch our extensive coverage on Firstpost. 50 days, multiple venues. We'll be following the men in blue as they chase World Cup glory.